notice there are some patterns here? Did you notice 857-142, 857-142? And somehow you kind of get the feel that it's linked to the magic clock just now, which is the 7, right? Yes, it's something to do with that. So you need to multiply by a suitable factor and all that. But I'm not going to talk about how to solve it today, because that would be more for a technical kind of explanation. So it's just the ideas that can be developed into a more difficult question as well. Okay, let's go for the next one. Okay, so here I just give the just a passing note, so you can see how many zeros here, because the movement need to be 6 places before I can see the pattern of 857 to repeat. That's why we multiply by 1 million. So the same pattern, no matter how big the number is, we can repeat the steps and also reduce the fraction like that to get the answer is actually 6/7, which links to our magic of 7 and also this fraction trick. So hopefully you enjoyed this particular part of the magic, or this is the only technical part. Now we'll go into some non-technical things. So I'm just going to show you some examples. These are some examples of, this is a primary Maths Olympiad type of questions. Okay, this is what they do in something called Maths Olympiad. So I'm not going to solve any of these questions. I'm just going to show you as we skim through. And these are some of the questions that I use in my classes, which I run. Okay, and you can see these are some questions from national Olympiads from around the world. So you're seeing some real Math Olympiad question. I think the one number 2 on the top there is from India, if I'm not mistaken, some of the regional Olympiads and all that. Some questions I can recognize, some I need to look at the source again. And sometimes they use theorems, geometry, and they are basically 4 brain branches of mathematics, which is geometry, algebra, combinatorics, and number theory. They do not do calculus and probability much, though some contests like Putnam and things, stuff like that, they do that. Okay, any questions you can put in the chat. Later I'll look into that if during the Q&A. Don't worry, just put it there. And anybody can remind me, then I will answer them. Okay, why learn Maths Olympiad? So I give you an example. Actually, a lot of very famous alumni from the Maths Olympiad circle, they do very well in other fields. Okay, so with maths, can't really see much. But then they, like for example, the founder of Telegram. Telegram is a kind of messenger service, right? He was an ex-IMO champion and from Russia actually. But he also did a bit of programming and maths. So he's much more greater and talented. All right, and then in the International Mathematics Olympiad, he won a gold medal in 3 times. And this is from his Wikipedia, just to show. Oh, sorry. And so on and so forth. So he discovered even in programming and all that. So it helps to think, helps us to appreciate math. And math is a bit unique because it's something like art. If you look at the painting, it's beautiful. But sometimes the painting doesn't have any real life value, right? I mean, it's not going to help you today for you to eat or anything like that, unless you sell the painting or teach people how to draw, which is normally not counted as a reason. So same, likewise, some maths is like that. It's just beautiful for its abstractness. But mathematics is not really like that, because a lot of parts of maths that are used across the fields, we just don't see it. Unless the people in the field, they know, like in programming, even the phone you're using, even the games that you play, behind it sometimes there are a lot of codes and mathematical ideas that made it possible. Okay, so it actually simplifies our life in a lot of ways. Okay, and all right, okay, let's go for the next thing. So this is my result last time in SPM and all that. So I'm just showing that just to encourage you all. All right, and this was my National Olympiad last time, getting the 2nd place on the Malaysian National Olympiad in 2002, back a long time ago. Yeah, I'm not so young actually, 38 this year. Okay, and then this is when I represented, by God's grace, to the IMO 2002. All right, and going on that. Please don't annotate on the screen now. Thank you. And then, due to Maths Olympiad participation, I got a Bank Negara scholarship and studied in UKM in actuarial science. Not really keen on actuarial science, it's a different field, but I was not really into it. This was the latest Maths one of the last contests I did, when they had an open challenge on the Global Math Challenge. So it was actually organized by, I think, Sony, Global Math Challenge. So what dates like that? Let's raise again. And and then of course did a few things in many places. And this was when Mr. Suhaimi, the national coach, I'll talk about him in a while. Please don't annotate. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right. And then and after working a few years with him and all that, I did a few other fields like oil and gas, social work, and all that. Let's talk about Mr. Swami. Is actually my old school friend. I know him during the times we took the Olympiad, but we never took the same Olympiad because he was 1 year older to me. I took it only last year, 2002. His last year was 2001. And he's very brilliant, and eventually won the Malaysian Olympiad as well the previous year, and double, and then wins the IMO in the bronze in that. And then it's a very good person and very good, excellent example. He studied in MIT, the real MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Mathematics and Computer Science and all that. So we reconnected much later because, of course, we were in touch a little bit during the times. But later we reconnected, and then he called me back into teaching Maths Olympiad. So I said, okay, let's go back into, let's have a look at that. So I left Maths Olympiad sometime by the time. And the rest is history. Yeah. Thanks to him, actually, because he really brought up a lot of maths camps to all over the place. You can see him in the national schools. You can see him in the vernacular schools, both the Tamil schools and also the Chinese schools. He helps all over the place. So he brings up his best trainers, and he brings me along also. And privileged to join them. This is Mr. Zafri, the current one of the deputy head for the Malaysian team. Okay, I did a lot of trainings personally with him. The rest are there, but because due to MCO, a lot of these camps and things are not really running. He's an example of some of the secondary. Dr. Vijay and the team, Ramachandran Math Circle, Mr. Sami, Mr. Kumar and all that. And we used to run our contests and all that. You can see here, and like I just show some names here. Interesting. This is Doctor, and then Dr. Kumar, Dr. Sami, and Dr. Vijay, and then very well organized team like those days that we worked with, okay, and a lot of camps and all that. And yeah, it's an example, okay. And then this is the boarding schools, okay, where I teach Math Olympiad trainings as well, personally. And then during the Ilham project, some of you, if you're a scholar for Ilham, to get very good scores in your UPSR Malaysian exam for the vernacular schools. So the good students sometimes are sponsored to these camps. So it's to do some Maths Olympiad camps for them. Yeah, by the grace of some of the kind donations and people who are willing to help the community. Okay. All right. Okay, please do not annotate on the screen, young man. All right. Thank you. Okay, then this is training with the teachers. That means even some of the teachers in the schools, we share knowledge and we train them so that they can be better equipped, especially sometimes mostly the training is about kangaroo maths and also beyond that. And this is an actual one for Maths Olympiad in Malacca. I was privileged to be invited by Miss Jocelyn, chairman of the Persatuan Mathematics Olympiad Malacca, and together with, of course, the what we say? Sorry, the annotation is it's distracting me. Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Melaka. So it's a very kind offer, and we did have a very good discussion and knowledge sharing there in the session and all that. So these kind of sessions will take a bit more deeper material because they all teachers, so I'll go really deep. Some interesting deep math theorems and all that. And this was back in 2018. So, and also, so a few things you can see here, like this is the Ramachandran Math Circle in Malaysia, which was very active in the Tamil schools and all that we used to do. This is the KL inspector, Mr. Guna, the schools and all that. So he's very privileged to work with him. And he is very good in maths as well. so it was very fun to work with. This is the AIMO when I was invited to train the Malaysian team for the private Olympiad, Asia International Maths Olympiad. This was one of the examples for the this is Ms. Jocelyn, the chairman for the Persatuan Mathematics Olympiad Malacca, and the respected representative from the Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Melaka, the gracious interest in such a training as well. Okay, so these are some of the activities that we have done. Rather been involved. Thank you. Yeah, Malaysian students and all that. So AMO, the time they won some medals and all that in Malaysia. Okay, this was their first participation. So it's me there in the fourth from right. Okay, and then even in the, not only that, also in the CMOC's first participation was them, bringing the team. And then the latest Maths Olympiad work, I was privileged again to be invited through Mr. Swami and the team. Dr. Shafiq is the head now, the Malaysian head coach. Excellent graduate from Oxford in mathematics as well. Very fun to talk with mathematics and all that. So he invited us back and became an observer, for the 61st Malaysian Mathematical Olympiad participation in 2020. Our team is, of course, has very great trainers like Mr. Zafri and also Mr. Lokzikin. Now Mr. Ivan also is here. Some of them are Cambridge graduates, and also Zilok is from Princeton. All are super, way better than me. Okay, so I'm just mentioning that I'm privileged to work with them and to motivate our students to go as far as they can in Maths Olympiad or in mathematics according to their interest in all these things. Okay, it doesn't mean you learn Maths Olympiad. You need to only study mathematics. You can also do a lot of things. You can go and be good in, especially they're very good in what we say, combinatorics. Those guys that are in the combinatorics part, they become very good in programming. And in programming, there's a lot of people who are very good in Maths Olympiads and all that. They become very good in programming. So now the next branch of knowledge is, as you saw even in the earlier, what we say, presentation by Zenitiq Solutions, which they're doing a great job by Dr. Morgan as well, and where they talked about data scientists. Data scientists is a bit of statistics applications and all that. Not really Maths Olympiad purely, but there are people from there that can jump into that. Or the other one is from combinatorics, they jump into not only statistics and also into the, what we say, the field called graph theory. Or I put it combinatorics generally, because a lot of the next wave of knowledge in the science, and not in the science part, in the technology part, is AI, artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is machine learning. Machine learning uses a lot of this heavy duty counting and how to learn and things like that. I'm not an IT expert to tell you those details, but I do know from them that they do use a lot of this stuff. Okay, so yeah. So these are one of the benefits of taking Maths Olympiad, apart from being academically good. And you also can probably get some scholarships and things like that. And that surely helps in nowadays, because, and apart from that, it broadens your horizon. Mathematics, when you're good in maths, you become very good in problem solving, thinking and all that. It can help you in even the other fields that you may undertake. And some become good in music and a lot of other things as well. So it's a multidisciplinary approach that is seen today, rather than a singular academic subject. So I would not say that only Maths Olympiad. So, but it's one of it. Okay. So mathematics as a whole, Maths Olympiad is just to beef it to the next level, to the deeper ends of mathematics. It's where you learn how the theorems are built. What does it mean to prove a theorem? Why the result is true? All this deeper stuff. Of course, the great Indian mathematician, so Ramachandran, for example, he discovers a lot of patterns. And then the other mathematicians come in and help by also proving. Some he proves, some results we don't even know how to prove what's going to be true. And this talking about that, there's one of the latest development in the artificial intelligence is they invented a machine called the Ramachandran machine or something like that. So it's kind of able to see patterns that are hidden in numbers before the creation that the human naked eye we cannot see. Very hard for us to see such things. So the computer is doing that. So because the great Ramachandran was very famous in ability to see numbers and patterns which normally we cannot see, so they named that machine after him. So you must understand why they call it the Ramachandran AI machine, artificial intelligence. So based on that kind of patterns, what mathematicians later do is they study it. So they take that, they take those results and all that, they try to prove it, pure mathematics and all that. Okay, that's just an example. All right. So this was our team, Malaysian team. A bit small, the what we say, the 2020 team. Okay, they can just give thing. So this is our leader here, Dr. Shafiq, Mr. Zafri. This is Mr. Ivan, all great trainers. This is Mr. Lok Zikin, and this is the government representative, Shamil, yes, and then Mila, and then these are our students. These are our very celebrated medalists. Zishong, and then some of them I'm not very familiar with them, but Zishong and Ola, because I've seen him many times. So these are the things. The other two guys, they didn't give their photos. So this was our team, 6 representative for a country, a maximum and all that. Okay, so just to mention that as well. Great stuff. All right. And I also have these free pages. There's a free Math Olympiad Primary Solutions by John, just the title of the page. And you can also come and visit that for Mathematics Olympiad Solutions. If I got free times, I've just shared some things there. So we can also see and learn or share, these things. This for the primary one and one for the secondary one. Okay, so on the pinned post, if you click on it, all the list of problems are there. Number 1 to, let's say, 100 something or what. So you look at the problem, you can choose the ones that interest you, and you can have a look at that can benefit any of you. All right. So please remember, these are free on the Facebook. Just log in, search for the page, go and click there. All right. If I have free time, I'll sometimes solve questions and all that. But sometimes if I'm busy, then I'll take things. So this is also another page, FB1. by Olympiad Mathematics Malaysia. Please search that. It's our official Malaysian Olympiad page. So this just I'm just showing the example of an interview they had in Mila with Mr. Zafri as the host. Okay, and things like that. So how to improve ourselves in mathematics generally? Let's say I just want to talk about that a little bit before I talk about this. So if to improve yourself mathematically, one is to know the existing school knowledge. First, you must master all the school knowledge. So some of you, I know you're maybe very good in school, or you see children or people that you know very good in school maths, and then they don't do anything beyond that. So they get very bored, some of these guys are good in school. So what you must do is you try to introduce them to something more than school. So with the power of internet today, you can just Google like Maths Olympiad or hard maths competition questions, or even kangaroo maths questions. It's a very popular contest, like the biggest contest in the country or in the world actually, also kangaroo maths. So you can get some free solutions or papers. Normally solution a bit hard to get free. You need to purchase them. And as you go along and read up the solutions and the question, the first step is always learning. So don't get discouraged that you cannot solve even one question. That is very normal. Please remember, that is very normal. It takes time before you can think. And as you go into the secondary part, secondary kind of school solutions, high school, it becomes more difficult. So the number of students that can persevere beyond that becomes lesser and lesser. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you have to go all the way and know every single solution. Then only you become this. You can become, there are a lot of people who they went to a certain extent here and there at the various private Olympiads as well. They participate in all that, but they also became very good in other fields. So they developed their skills. So it's just an addition to even motivate and to learn these fields of academics and all that. And also I have a song that I've posted, so just lost it to you. Okay, so in a free time you can also please subscribe and like. All right, thank you. Just mentioning that. So I was involved as a lead guitarist also in a Tamil rock band called Nova Rock. Now we call ourselves Accidental Acts. So I wish to do secular English songs, and that's ventured by myself. My debut single, title that, the official lyrical videos there. So just to say that I also do just for fun, music and stuff like that also. All right. Okay. And okay, so if you want to just talk a little bit more on the interest in mathematics, all right, and okay, please don't annotate on the screen. Thank you. All right, and because I just have a request that I should speak a bit more on the interest in maths in primary, secondary, college, and university. So I'm not in a very good position to tell about the interest of math in university and all that, because I didn't really go very deep in mathematics. You can see I only did a degree. Okay, so I can talk a bit on the primary and secondary school. Apart from practicing the known questions, you must always challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to go deeper. So when you go deeper, and as you go deeper on all this, you must go you must do competition questions. So when you do competition questions, it will lead you to a theory. And when it leads you to a theory, you will realize that there are a lot of theorems and theory that are not found in the school syllabus. So if you only stick to the school syllabus, you cannot see a lot of things. There are some things in the school syllabus, but there are things beyond the school syllabus. You must understand that. So Olympiad sometimes uses such knowledge. So if you never knew that, you can never solve the question, because it's testing on a knowledge that's above school. But before you can go beyond the school, first you must know the school knowledge. That's why I always teach them, students, to accelerate yourself on the school knowledge by yourself. And then when you come to the classes that I teach and all that, then I go on and deepen this. So the same strategy can be used whether it's a primary or whether you're at the secondary level and all that. And one of the things is to look at the past year questions. You must go and look at all the past years of Olympiads that you can, get some books or something. Even one book can make a lot of difference, and start reading the solutions up. So you can see a lot of great authors are there online. A little bit expensive, good to invest, and then you read it up. So on the college and university part, I'm not in a position to say that, because I'm not a full-time academician. Perhaps they will find a very good academician to speak on that, because that's research line. But I can tell you that that is going on the borders of research, what we say, on the borders of discovering new mathematics and all that. So those guys are really great, way beyond what I can do. Okay, so I'm just mentioning that that is how the steps of knowledge are in the field of mathematics. So if you're keen to join the Math Olympiad training or to know more about it, the kind of thing, you can just drop me a WhatsApp or something on this number, or you can even email me. But I won't reply, or calls normally I will discourage, because sometimes in class and all that, I'll definitely not answer. But if I see a message and later you want to know something about it or something, if I have time, I'll definitely try to answer your query. Okay, so this is